Hello, friends. So, something fun that I've been doing with my accountability partner is working on some sort of conversational affirmations that I can memorize and use almost like a script to guide me in those moments where I'm interacting with people in my world. And there's like a really strong pendulum to do the thing where it's like, oh, I'm struggling. You know how like my main example is like at the bus stop with, when we're all waiting for our kids to get on the bus, there's sort of a culture or a pendulum. If you don't know the concept of pendulum, it's from reality transurfing, and it's basically the idea of like a cultural rule that is very strong and easy to slip into, even if it doesn't feel authentic for you. So I'm really into identifying, noticing pendulums right now and seeing if I can create my own that are more aligned. So one of the ones that my accountability partner and I were talking about is this like pendulum of being a struggling person with the big bad like system that makes life so hard, right? And how oftentimes we create intimacy and connection with other people through the sharing of these challenges or obstacles, or through this expressing examples of uh, that support our identity as a struggling person. So I came up with the idea to put together some like conversational affirmations that I can practice and use as a guiding script to support me in some of these areas where I tend to fall into a conversational habit, supported by this pendulum of like, oh, I'm struggling, life is so hard. So I went through each area of my life and have come up with sort of like a statement that can be used as a guiding script for me in conversation. And I plan to practice these to the point of memorizing them. I'm going to do it by watching this video back, by practicing in the mirror, by sharing them with my accountability partner, by reading them, etc. Just like I would if I were playing a character in a play. And I really like this idea of playing a character because ultimately we all are, and we are the like screenwriter of our play. So we can adjust the script whenever we want to if we start to notice like we don't love how the story is going. Okay. So with my co-parent, the person who my kid spends half his time with that I'm no longer married to, and you notice I'm carefully avoiding the common colloquial word for this person in my life, ex. Um, I am going to be removing that from my vocabulary because I just feel like it has a really strong energy towards it, and I don't think it's benefiting me. So I'm going to be calling her my co-parent. Um, so this is sort of the guiding script for that. I continue to learn a lot about myself from interactions with my co-parent. I am growing in my ability to have grace for the parts I don't yet understand. So this sort of captures that another way of saying this would be like, I don't understand her, or I get, frustrated with our interactions where we're not understanding each other. But instead, I'm sort of allowing it to reflect that the other reality, which is that I am learning more about myself whenever we have interactions where we don't understand each other. And in those times where, I don't understand, I would like to offer myself grace and just be like, oh, there you are. You're not understanding, and that's okay too. Um, so I continue to learn a lot about myself from interactions with my co-parent. I am growing in my ability to have grace for the parts I don't yet understand. Okay. For my child, a lot of times in life, people ask you like, "Oh, how's your kid doing?" or like, "How are things going with your kid?" And I often have been like, "I don't know, ask my kid," right? But I feel like, or I'll be like, "Oh, this is going and this is going," or I'll try to like come up with something, and this will be my guiding script for that. I so respect and appreciate my kiddo, who is a gentle and thoughtful soul. And I really enjoy having my kiddo in my life, which is all very true. Okay. Um, when I'm talking about the house, which you've heard me reflect on a little bit, I've had this house situation that just really hasn't gone as I expected. So This one is probably the most challenging for me right now. And I just had an opportunity. I had written this, and then I went to a meeting with the bank inspector for the house, and I had an opportunity to like try it out in real time, and it was very uncomfortable. I could feel that pendulum pulling, and I didn't pull it off completely, but I did a little bit better than I would have if I had not thought about this. So it shows me that I have the capacity to shift, which was encouraging. So I'm looking for any minute confirmation that I'm becoming something different than myself, not expecting myself to like be perfectly, completely the new thing yet. So this is what I wrote for the house. The house has grown into an opportunity to develop my faith in a higher power. I haven't understood so much of the experience, and I am unclear about how the story will end. I am growing in my curiosity about it and seeing a decrease in my fear. I am also beginning to feel more and more proud of how many resources I've come up with to support us on this journey, and am amazed that I have the experience of building a house. So all of that is true, and it holds in it that this has been confusing and challenging, right? So I'm not just like lying to myself. It's all very true, but it's emphasizing the things that I'd really like to grow into. Okay, in terms of my business, um, I am becoming increasingly confident in my ability to trust the ebb and flow of clients. I am so grateful for the increasing confirmation that I am fulfilled, offering, and receiving great value. So again, that holds in it the piece that is true, that it's still uncomfortable for me to have sort of clients come and go, and to trust that more clients are coming, or that I'm going to have enough to support us. And yet it doesn't focus on the scarcity piece of it. So I'm becoming increasingly confident in my ability to trust the ebb and flow of clients. So again, we're not trying to lie to ourselves. We're just trying to shape what it is that we want that character to show up like, right? And this is just my version. Like if I were wanting my character to show up as having a lot of um, difficulty and fear and victim experience, that's how I would do it, which I did a few months ago, right? And so I got to experience that, and I got to have that story arc, and I got to play out. It's like a grand improv. I got to do that, and I'm so glad I did, because again, I've learned a lot from it. And this is just the thing that I'm trying now, not because it's better or worse, but because I'm interested in having this experience. Okay, for my podcast and YouTube channel. So if you're noticing, I'm trying to capture the part that I'm having difficulty with, and I'm trying to reframe it to see if how that feels. So for my podcast and YouTube channel, I'm becoming increasingly able to balance my energies so that I can enjoy these outlets and still have plenty of free time. So the challenge in those two areas, the podcast and the YouTube channel, is that I am fitting them in around my full-time work and parenting, which I have seen myself be like a little over my capacity. So I wanted to really name and claim an ability to still have free time and enjoy these outlets. In regards to some of my relationships, um, I am enjoying how my ability to connect with others in an open and assertive way is increasing my ability to trust both myself and others, and growing my sense of intimacy and belonging with the world around me. So in there, I wanted to capture that sometimes when I'm not able to be trusting, so I'm a little closed off, or I'm not able to be assertive, and I end up, disrespecting myself. That is a challenge for me in a relationship. So this sort of captures this idea of being assertive and open-hearted. So like having, as my Al-Anon sponsor often said, having, instead of a brick wall or no wall at all, I have a picket fence with a little gate in it. So I'm open, and yet there's some clear boundaries. So I'm being assertive. So Anyways, I'm curious what you think about this concept. I'm going to be practicing it and putting it into play and seeing how it feels so far. Even just today, I can feel it sort of present as I'm connecting with the people around me. And I look forward to seeing what it feels like to bring it into more solidity. Uh, I often notice having a kiddo that people love to retell stories that are like really hard, like, oh, once I broke my leg and blah, 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 blah. And you like practice this story and practice this story. So it just becomes a part of sort of your culture of who you are, and everybody knows these stories about you. And what if we were able to really shape those stories that we repeat and repeat and repeat and put in ones that feel like really what we're wanting to experience? So that's what I'm going to be playing with. I love you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.